The 2025 Atlantic hurricane season has officially come to an end. So let's talk about some of the highlights of a season marked by lulls in activity, but also some of the most intense storms on record. Now, one of the most notable events was something that didn't happen at all. In fact, it was the first time since 10 years that no hurricanes have made landfall in the continental U.S. With that said, the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season is also in the top 2 seasons on record with the most Category 5 hurricanes in a single season, second only to 2005, which saw 4 Category 5 hurricanes. Now, the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season produced 13 named storms, 5 of which were hurricanes, and 4 of those being major hurricanes, which is Category 3 or higher. Now, these numbers fall close to early season predictions and what's considered normal based on a 30-year average. So just by the numbers alone, it looks like a near normal season. However, the National Hurricane Center also looks at the ACE index, which is Accumulated Cyclone Energy Index, which takes into account each storm's intensity and duration to derive a single number indicating the season's overall intensity. Because this season featured such powerful storms, the ACE index was above the 30-year seasonal average, ranking it as an above normal season. Now, the season officially kicked off June 1st with no notable activity until later that same month when Tropical Storm Andrea formed. From there, it was Barry in the Gulf. Then came the only storm to make landfall in the continental U.S. all season long. It was Tropical Storm Chantal, and it made landfall right here in South Carolina. In the early morning hours on a Sunday on July 6th, Chantal came ashore the South Carolina coast near Leachfield Beach and moved almost due north into North Carolina. Other than some rain across some parts of the eastern Midlands that morning, as you can see, the main impacts were felt just outside the Midlands. As much as 2 to 5 inches of rainfall was recorded, leading to flooding in that area. Then in August came our first of 3 Category 5 hurricanes, Hurricane Erin. In early September, which is usually considered the peak of Atlantic Basin activity on average, the tropics seemed quiet before things really got going for the second half of the season. It was then that our second Category 5 hurricane formed, Umberto. At the end of September, we got to witness a rare dance in the Atlantic between Umberto and Imelda, which, by the way, Imelda was headed straight for the southeast coast at one time. You also probably started hearing the term Fujiwara effect, which can happen if 2 storms are close enough, depending on the size, possibly as little as 800 miles apart, can trigger the Fujiwara effect. As Imelda approached the southeast coast, Umberto, the stronger of the 2 hurricanes at the time, passed close enough to change Imelda's path, basically drawing Imelda in its own direction and away from the U.S. So while the storms did not rotate around a common central point, a version of the Fujiwara effect took place, changing Imelda's path and sparing the U.S. coast. And last but certainly not least, one of the most powerful hurricanes ever on record developed, Melissa. In late October, Melissa, a powerful and deadly storm, made landfall in southwestern Jamaica, changing its landscape and leaving thousands homeless. Melissa made landfall as a Category 5 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 185 miles per hour. In terms of wind speed, Melissa ties with 2 other hurricanes for strongest landfall on record in the Atlantic. And based on pressure, Melissa is surpassed only by Hurricanes Wilma from 2005 and Gilbert from 1988. So there you have it, a recap of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Keep in mind, every year the Atlantic hurricane season gets going on June 1st and ends officially on November 30th.